Great day, everyone, and welcome to Trading Made Easy right here on YouTube. I am certainly glad that you found yourself here. And today want to let's go over GJ. For those of you that do not know me or this channel, I specialize in very simple trading strategies utilizing market structure. I'm not opposed to indicators. However, I use indicators strictly as confirmation. I always start off with structure, and that's what you're going to see me do here today. So let's go over to my training chart where there is nothing there, um, so that we can begin trading identifying market structure. So right now, what we're looking at on the daily, let's go ahead and assess what the overall direction is. And so we're on the daily, right? And so on the daily, you can clearly see that we are bullish. We're certainly bullish here. And that is the trend. So that's the overall direction. But then we have to ask ourselves, well, what is price doing now? In order to answer that question, we have to understand what did price do previously, right? So the leading question that I always use and I teach is, where did price stop and turn around? When you make that identification, go ahead on and drop a line so that you can clearly see that area. Now that becomes a very strong area of interest because price will come back to retest that area at some point. So you want to identify that, keep an eye on that. And that's what you see here for resistance. Price came up, it stopped here, and then it started to pull back down. And so price never came back up thus far to break this area. We need to keep an eye on that. You want to do the same thing for a level of support. Where did price go down, stop, and turn around? This area right here, price came down, stopped, and then it turned around. And we have not broken past this area as well. So now that we have identified that this high and low, support and resistance, is where price will dance in this region until it breaks the structure, right? And you're going to do that for every time frame. I typically do that for my daily and my 4 hour, and sometimes the hour, but basically that's what you want to do. Identify where the price stop and turn around relative to the active candle, and drop a line. And so if I look at this area, let's measure this in pips and see what the potential is in pips. It's over 700 pips, right? So we have a lot of opportunity within the daily support and resistance. Now, another thing that you want to be keen about is, where's price in relation to those areas? And we're riding in the middle. And so obviously, if we're in the middle, we're in a level of consolidation on the daily. But on the lower time frame, there's certainly opportunity there. Okay, so this is how you just quickly assess price and what price is doing overall. After you've done that, just simply drop down to the next time frame. So we're on the 4 hour. We're on the 4 hour. And on the 4 hour, let's screenshot out some on the 4 hour. Okay. Let's screenshot out. Okay. And we're not surprised that we see this move down, right? Because on the daily, price was certainly pulling back. So naturally, what's going on the higher time frame, you're going to see it played out on the lower time frame, right? And so we're clearly in a downtrend, and price has not broken this area, right? And so as price came up, you see it dropped down, and that's where we're still pulling back. So price is continually making lower lows and lower highs, right? Lower lows and lower highs. Until price breaks this area, then we may be looking at a bullish communication. But as long as it's below this trend line, we're still in a bearish momentum. So keep that in mind. And so what you want to do is position yourself for a sale at the high of the area, like in here. So when price came up to this point, we dropped. Price came up in here, went over some, but then we dropped. Came up here, went over a little bit, but then we dropped, right? We came up to our trend line, then we dropped. And so these are the areas, the pivotal areas where you can potentially take your sell position. And you can actually do the same thing for a buy. The only uh the only thing that I would caution is that you want to go where price is going, whether it's the trend or not, right? You want to go where price is going until price communicates to you that it wants to go in a different direction. Okay, just to be on the safe side. Now, what I do encourage very, very new traders to do is trade the trend. And if that be the case, you will be looking for buys, but you have to know when to get into the buy. When are we actually in a continuation? Right? The continuation is always in the direction of the trend. So if we are in a bullish trend, the continuation would be bullish. Yes, there are buy opportunities here. Buy opportunities here. We see that. However, it's not a continuation. It's not going to be a continuation until it breaks above this channel here. It breaks above, closes, comes back and retests the high of that area. And this is where a lot of traders get really messed up because you see a buy opportunity in a correction movement. The strongest, in that situation, the stronger direction is bearish. But because there is always going to be buy and selling opportunities, you have to look at that in the bigger context of things. Is it a buy opportunity in a correction, or is it a buy opportunity in a continuation? Big difference, right? So for price to be in a continuation, it needs to break above my trend line here, first of all, right? Break above, come back to retest the high of it. At that time, that is going to be my first bullish communication, my first indication of a continuation. And of course, after you've made this assessment with price and with structure, then you want to pull in your indicators that you're using to confirm that direction. And the indicators that you're using should all of your indicators should be saying the same thing at the same time. And this is where our trading plan comes into play, right? You have to be committed to the trading plan. I am going to help you all build out a very effective trading plan based on your style of trading. And that's a customized service that I do provide, but it's vitally important that you do that. It's vitally important that you follow it so that you can begin to profit consistently in the market. You don't want to be jumping in because things look good and because you see something that looks like you can grab some pips. You want to follow what price is doing. And you have to be able to identify what price is doing. Okay. So that's what we're looking at here for a buy, a continuation. Now, do we have buy opportunities? Yes, that's a buy opportunity, but it's in context of the correction. So you have to be careful. I'm not saying don't take it, but you have to be very careful to get in and get out. This is not a trend trade. It's a trend trade when we go into a continuation. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that has helped. Alrighty. So on the 4 hour, what we're going to do is identify where the price stop and turn around, because what we're gearing up for is an entry. Where the price stop and turn around. Don't forget that lead in question, because that's going to help you frame price, right? Price came down, obviously stopped here and turned around. So let's go ahead and identify that by dropping us a horizontal real quick, right? So price came down. So price came up here, pulled back, stopped here, and then aggressive move up. Price came down, stopped here, aggressive move up. So let's identify that, right? This is an area of support right in here. That is an area of support. Okay. Alrighty. So we have our area of support here. Now, what the price is pushing down. So this area right here would be an area where we can expect for price to vacillate and push back up. It may and it may not, but it's still an area we want to identify as a potential buy. And just know that that buy will be a short ran buy, not a continuation buy. It's not a trend buy. It's a short ran buy. So keep that in mind when you're positioning yourself for the trade. Same thing here. This would also be a buy opportunity. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing for on the 1 hour. Okay. We're just framing. We're framing at this point. Now, the 1 hour and the 4 hour, oftentimes it lines up in the same area as it did here. So we don't have to really drop a line. Now, here's the thing. This is where you get your life back. This is where you're not held hostage to the chart. This is where you enjoy the things that really matter to you while you're waiting for price to meet your criteria. You drop down to the 15-minute and you put in your alerts. If you do not have the upgraded trading view, you have to invest. It's that simple so that you can put your alerts in. And this is be the area where you would put your alert, right? Or somewhere there's about. So I like the bodies of the candle. So somewhere around in there is where I would add an alert. And my alert box, so price is moving down. So I'm going to say crossing down. As price crosses down, this is the price point area. I want to be alerted because that's going to be my potential area for a buy. So every time price hits this price point, I want to be alerted. And I like to go ahead on and add some notes. Potential buy, POT buy, potential buy at this price point. And then I just simply hit create. Now I'm waiting for price to meet my criteria. And when I come back to the chart, I don't just jump in. You don't want to do that. This is when you bring in your indicators. Your indicator must also support the direction that you're going in. Okay. And so at this point, once my indicator, once my alert hits, then I will bring my indicator, which is my 62, right? Which is my 62. And I usually do a 13. Or you can do a 50. This is a 200. I don't need the 200. I want to make that a 13, right? And I'm going to make that red. Right? So I'm looking for that cross. Okay. Right? And so you can use a 50. I would recommend at least a 50 and a 13, or yeah, I would do that. A 13 and a 5 is more of a scalp, if you're looking to scalp. But if you're looking for a extended scalp or an intraday, you want at least a 50. Right, and the 15 to 13 is a good correlation in movement and price, and it gives you a good indication of what price is going, where it's going. I also use my MACD, and I pay particular attention to the signal line, right? So I'm looking for a break from the signal line to the histogram. I need airspace because that signifies volume. And so when price comes and alerts me, that's when I pull in my additional confirmations to let me know that price is going in the direction that I think is going in. And at that point, I will execute. So if we're looking for a buy, we certainly want to buy from an area of support. And I'm looking for my signal line to be curving up in addition to a break from the histogram. That's what I'm looking for because that's telling me that there's volume to the upside. And I'm also looking because I know price is going to be below my moving averages because Price has to be selling down in order for me to buy up. But with the moving averages, I'm looking to see if we have a potential cross coming. And as I can see right now, these two moving averages are getting closer together. So when that time comes, we'll just reassess and see what price is saying. If price is not lining up with our trading plan, with the indicators, we simply wait. It's just that simple, guys. You can't get around patience. You got to have it. Okay. So that is it. So what we're looking at overall on GJ is we are overall bullish. However, we are in a pullback, and so price is selling. So we're waiting for price to hit a level of support and begin the potential continuation to the upside. So if you want to take a sell opportunity, you certainly can. And I just talked about how you go about doing that, as well as the buy. Okay, this will be your area where your potential buy, and you just assess from there. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on this and see how price responds to the parameters that we have set, and position ourselves for a trade. So if this has given you value, go ahead on and subscribe if you want to continue to get that. Subscribe if you have any questions. I do read my comments, so feel free. Like the video if you found value as well. I certainly appreciate that, and I'll see you guys on the next video.